All right, so you're Antoine Dill, and Mr. Dill was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the second-degree felony offense of burglary of a habitation. The agreement was for a cap of 3 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. I've received a pre-sentence report, and has everyone had an opportunity to review that?
We have.
And we were here before and broke for something. Remind me what.
Yes, ma'am. You allowed us to reset the case back in April, early April, for me to reach out to the complainant, Mr. Jones, and try to determine what that restitution amount he discussed in the PSI was. I did speak with him. He was unable to call me back, I guess. We tried again this morning. So I have come up with a restitution amount just based on the bare bones and what's in the offense material, not to exceed $2,799. That kind of changes my position, going back to what the court addressed last time. I tend to agree with Your Honor more so than just giving him this short amount of time, although he has the priors, maybe some very lengthy probation with that might be in the messengers, and I'm not opposed to that. Of course, your choice, Judge, but I wouldn't be opposed to a lengthy probation. Maybe a straight probation with this prior.
Well, and here's where I am on that. I put either, after going through what your priors are and going through the pre-sentence report and looking at all of this, a conviction makes sense in some ways because you already have some convictions. But if I'm going to give you an opportunity on probation, then what I'm inclined to do would actually be a deferred probation. And that's not necessarily for your benefit, it's for mine. Because what that does is if you violate, that gives me the entire range of punishment, which is up to 20 years, instead of just a 10-year sentence, which is the most I could give you if it was a conviction. So that would be what I'm inclined to do. I think a 3-year sentence, I mean, I think number one, that's probably too low with your history and with this, and it would, if you want probation and you're willing to make that, the 3 years would be easier, honestly, probably for you. You probably have credit, you won't do very much time, but if you want to be out and make an attempt at changing your life, then I want to give you that opportunity.
Definitely do. I would love the chance to prove to the courts and to myself that I could successfully complete this.
Okay, then that's what we're going to do. Mr. Deal, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty previously, freely, and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to defer all proceedings. You'll be placed on probation for a period of 10 years. You'll be ordered to pay a $500 fine. You're also ordered to pay an amount not to exceed $2,799 in restitution. I do want the restitution to be first and not the fine. I want you to start making payments on that restitution immediately, even if it is a little bit every month. I want him paid back.
I have a job that's waiting on me, so I will be able to pay the restitution.
Good. And so the thing about this is this opportunity, you'll obviously be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. And if you do that, then this opportunity means you don't have this conviction on your record. And you will, at the end of the probation, if you're successful, the case gets dismissed. You'll never have this conviction. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court and you could be facing a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. So it's kind of all or nothing at this point. Do you understand? It's very important to me that money gets paid back. I know some people think, well, I'm on probation for 10 years. It's a long time. I don't want him waiting 10 years. I want you to make payments. And if you start making, even if it's a little bit at the beginning, it'll add up. Some people think, well, I'm going to wait. I have this and I'm going to sell it, or I'll get my tax refund back, and I want something every single month so that it adds up. All right. What can happen is you can do everything else correctly on probation. And at the end of the probation, if you haven't paid that amount back and I make a finding that you could have paid it, then you could still go to prison after all that time. So it's very important to me and for the victim. Okay.
Yes,
Judge, in addition to that restitution, may we request the court consider imposing a no contact order with Mr. Robert Jones and a no contact order with any of his properties? This was an issue with Mr. Dill and his cohort, Miss Kanasia Winfield, that they were having issues with Mr. Jones, and he's a property renter and owner.
So you are to have absolutely, as a condition of your probation, no contact or communication with Mr. Jones. You cannot go on any of his properties. You cannot talk to him. You can't contact him. You can't try to rent a property. You can't, if somebody else has rented a property, you can't go live with them there. Do you
I
understand?
just want to make it clear to the courts, I have no intentions of doing that, and the only basis that I was even.
I understand. I mean,
Yes,
I've looked at all of it, and that's
Yes,
part of the
ma'am.
reason you're getting,
I was a victim of the scam.
well, I don't know if I would call you a victim, but I understand that there were some issues.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's part of the reason why you're being given this opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very important that this does not happen again.
Most definitely.
All right, I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, so you have waived your right to appeal.
Judge is not
Good
well.
morning, are you Zabaris Harrison?
Yes, ma'am.
And will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
You did, Judge.
Mr. Harrison, in cause number 23, DCCR 1410, you're charged with the third-degree felony offense of assault on a family household member with previous convictions from August 5th of 2023. And how do you plead to that charge? I'm sorry? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And because you did what they've charged you with? I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like the agreement that you've made is for a 4-year deferred probation with a $500 fine, and you'll be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't let them take her back yet. Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
Yes, ma'am.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Harrison is not competent?
No, Judge.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case so the probation department can do an pre-sentence report. That'll give me more information about you and your case, and then we'll come back at a later date for sentencing. What is the state's position with regard to bond?
Judge, I know with the deferred offer, I cannot be in a position of not agreeing to bond. I know he certainly is entitled to one. My only concern, I do have a new address for the complainant. I would rather not state it on the record for no contact, that the offense involves his wife and his son, and would appreciate some time to be able to let them know that either he was getting out or. And I don't know if I can reach them immediately, but I understand the context. Certainly would ask them a no contact with her and his son, that he not even be in their residence until we can get the inside that picture.
So, Mr. Harrison, you understand what the issue is, correct?
Yes.
If I do, when you are released, where will you be living?
Pause right here. This is where things get serious. The judge is about to lay down strict bond conditions, and this isn't just routine. GPS monitoring, plus a no-contact order. That's the court saying, one mistake. And this deal could completely collapse.
I'm currently at my parents' house, so
Okay, so,
Is that in Beaumont or Port Arthur?
Central.
okay. So what I'm going to do based on the nature of your plea agreement is reduce your bond pending sentencing to $1,000. I am going to make a few conditions of that bond that are very important. The first is that you are going to have to wear a GPS monitoring device at all times. So you will have to have that put on, pay the cost associated with it, have absolutely no contact and no communication at all for now with Delisha Fright, or how old is the child? Don't contact any of them, okay? At all. That's yourself, obviously in person, but that's also through social media or sending a letter through somebody else or whatever. No contact, no communication. If you do that and we find out that you're either going by where she's living or trying to find her, where she works, or sending messages, we'll know about it on the GPS. this deal will be off the table and things will be a whole lot worse. Do you understand? Also, the first thing you do when you're released from custody is you've got to go to the probation department. You're going to get some information today. If you make that bond, you have to go there so they can do that pre-sentence report. If you don't do that, then you also run the risk of me not accepting the plea agreement. And then finally, if you make that bond and you are arrested for anything between now and when we come back, you obviously run the risk of me not accepting the plea agreement. So if you make that bond, live with your parents, go to work, go home, stay out of trouble, no contact, so that you can hopefully go on with your life and not end up in prison or something like that on this case. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You have a question?
I'm a truck driver.
You're a truck driver.
He's a truck driver.
So I don't have a problem with you working. The GPS is primarily to make sure that you're not where she is. Okay. So I'm not going to say that you have to go outside of Jefferson County. I'm not going to make it a condition of your bond that you stay in Jefferson County. So you can work wherever you need to work. You just cannot be where she is.
And I'll
Okay.
give the GPS coordinates.
To the
of that
company.
Location to the company, yes. ma'am.
So once you're, the bondsman will know what that company is. We'll make sure that they know the GPS coordinates of where she is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You can go back with the bailiff.
And
Hang
just
on.
like that, Mr. Harrison walks out with a second chance. But make no mistake, this isn't freedom. It's a test. One wrong move, one message, one step too close, and everything collapses. So here's the real question. Do you think he'll follow the rules? Or is this just a countdown to something worse?